Welcome to the AI Automations for Business podcast. We're your hosts, Katie and Noel, and we'll be discussing how you can use AI for your business along with the latest news, updates, and automations to help you stay ahead of the curve, allowing you to grow and scale your business more efficiently. Please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Hi, hello, I'm Katie, and as always, I've got Noel here with me. Hey, Noel.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, absolutely fabulous this week.
Oh, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
So this week we are talking all about getting started with AI automations and the tools that you might want to use. But what we have created are 5 of what we believe are the best tools to get started for AI automations for your business. So Noel's got a list. He's going to walk us through each one step by step, aren't you, Noel?
Absolutely, yeah.
And we are going to explain a little bit about what they do, how you could use them, and we'll also talk about price points or if there's free plans and things like that, because I think that's also really important when you are, deciding on what tools to use. Cost and return of investment is very important as business owners. So we'll go through all of that as well. So I feel like we should just jump straight into it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I've got my top 5 ready and raring to go.
Okay. And was there a reason why you chose these 5? Like, is there a particular theme or reasoning behind it? I feel like that would be quite interesting.
Yeah, so these are the tools that I use most often. So I've been using AI for over 3 years. So I've used pretty much every platform there is available. I've given it a go, see what it's like. And these are the ones that I kind of stick with and that I would use on a daily basis. And they're also really beginner friendly as well. So, anybody can create an account. Most of these have free plans as well, which is really cool. And, you can just get started straight away and test these things out. So yeah, it's been hard to narrow it down to 5, but we've got there at the end.
And that's what we're trying to do, isn't it? Like, it's 2026. AI is not going anywhere. It's actually now being introduced into school curriculums as of, I think it's next year, so 2027. So AI is not going anywhere. And what we are all about, isn't it, Noel, is really helping business owners use AI and AI automations in a really efficient way and not just kind of jumping on trends or, those viral posts that you see that, what they're saying is interesting and helpful, but actually it's not sustainable or it's not long-term help. And that's what we're all about. And that's like why actually we started our membership AI business club over on the school platform, because we want you to feel confident in using AI and automations within your business and not have to rely on, PDF downloads. We've all seen them. We want you to be able to go, do you know what, I could figure that out myself, or, I could implement that myself, or I know exactly what I need to do and maybe I need to get help, but you're not going to be overcharged or anything like that. And I think that's what's really important to us, isn't it, Noel?
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, there's so many applications out there, all have their own subscription costs. So yeah, it can get quite expensive quite quickly if you go crazy on your subscriptions, and then half of them you'll probably use once and then never again. So yeah, hopefully this list to help you narrow down on some of those applications.
Okay, so let's get into it. And Do you want to tell us what your first one is?
So my first one is Claude. So I've talked about Claude quite a lot on this podcast in the past, and it is my number one daily driver large language model that I use every day. Doesn't matter how big or small, my question is, it always goes into Claude. And I guess the reason I've put it in instead of ChatGPT is I think OpenAI and ChatGPT are trying to be the Swiss Army knife of AI, and it's kind of the thing that gets everybody into AI because there's like 700 million users a week,
Wow.
so yeah, there's a fair few people use it, but when you kind of get to a point after a while that you just think this isn't really for me, and I think for business use cases, Claude is probably far better, and mainly because of its writing content. Like the way it writes its responses, and it will create newsletters, blog posts, emails, anything of that. It absolutely nails it every single time, which is exactly what you want.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were having this conversation earlier, weren't we, Noel? We were talking about, like, although ChatGPT is what gets everyone into AI and gets used to people using it and asking questions and prompt engineering, but actually I've noticed in the last few weeks that when I've been talking to it, it kind of loses its memory or it gets diluted. So I could be asking it things and then, like, on the same chat, like, I don't know, asking another question, it dilutes or it kind of forgets, like, the conversation that we've just had. And I'm finding that more and more recently, like almost every time I'm having a conversation with it. And yeah, it makes me feel quite frustrated because I'm like, no, I already said don't do that. Or like, you're not listening to me. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's becoming quite a challenge. So I can see why you picked Claude over
Yeah.
ChatGPT. But what about things like the custom GPTs that people can make for themselves? What would be, a good alternative for that? Is there something that we can do within Claude?
Yes. So they recently, in the last few months, released skills, and this is a way of like creating instructions which the AI will follow every time you ask it to use a skill, or it can even infer that you should use that skill based on the conversation. So it might be, so I've got a brand guidelines skill set up. So every time I ask it to create content, it knows, oh, hold on a minute, I need to use his brand voice. So it goes off, looks at that skill, understands my writing styles and isms and all that sort of stuff that's in that document, and then creates the content based on that. So it's very similar to custom GPTs because it's just instructions, and then you're asking the AI with those additional instructions. So it's kind of the same thing, but the best thing about it over custom GPTs is you could have, you could be in any conversation at any point and then trigger one of those skills. Whereas a custom GPT, you've got to open up a separate chat session and just talk to that GPT in its own little bubble.
Yes.
And that's kind of it. So a skill you can use anywhere at any time, which is brilliant. So you might not have even thought about writing anything or need anything with your brand voice, but it could be like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, actually a LinkedIn post would be really cool for that. And you go, yeah, I'll grab that skill and then put it in. But yeah, there's also what you don't get with custom GPTs is kind of like a template or a way to kind of quickly get started and build one. So with Claude Skills, there's actually a skill generation skill. So you can call that and then say, well, use that one and then create me a skill that does X, Y, and Z. This is what I need it to do. And it will go off and create it, and you just add it into your account. It's as straightforward as that. So yeah, anyone can create them. Really, really straightforward. But yeah. they're
And
really
what are,
powerful.
I know we've talked about Claude skills previously on our podcast, but for anyone who's listening for the first time, like, what can you create as a Claude skill? Can you just give us a couple of really quick examples?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of anything where you need, like, we're going to do stuff repetitively. So, you could be creating newsletters. So you'd be like, well, every newsletter I do is in this specific format. So you would give it that format, and then off it will go and do it the same way every single time.
Yeah.
You can, yeah, I think it's the world's your oyster, really, when it comes to this sort of stuff. But yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do. So I would just look at what you normally ask repetitively, and then think, could I put that in a skill? If yes, do it, and then you'll always have that consistent output. Because one thing I find, especially with ChatGPT, is you'll ask it to do one thing, and then you have then the week after you then have to start that conversation again, and then rehash it, and then finally get what you need. Whereas, with the skills, that's removed, thankfully.
Yeah, I think now in this current time of filming, which is January 2026, that ChatGPT is now like quite a basic business tool, and Claude is what business owners are using to stay ahead and to get ahead.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. A lot of the AI slop that you might see on social media and people flagging it, that's probably come from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the second one, Noel. What have you got for us?
So the second one is Notebook LM by Google. And the reason I've put that in is because as businesses, you may want to research things or learn new skills or anything like that. So what Notebook LM allows you to do is just, have a chat with the AI and say, well, look, this is what I want you to go off and research. And, it'll go off, gather loads and loads of sources online. And, you can then chat with those sources. So you can have a conversation with it, and, find out new things or whatever. And then you can then go off and then create content. So it could be documents, it could be slides. You can do audio files, videos. There's all kinds of different things that you can then do with all of that data, which is really awesome. So if you need to go off and research anything, then Notebook LM is like the real go-to. That's really, really thorough.
And how would that differ from Claude?
So, although yes, Claude can do research, it can do Google searches and stuff like that. What you can do in Notebook LM is add in your own sources as well. So you could say to it, so Claude released Cowork the other week. So you could say, well, look, do all the research on this new tool, and then give me all the insights, how they built it, and it will go off and do it. But then you might then spot like a YouTube video talking about it, so you could copy the link from that YouTube video and then put it into your sources, and then it would then go off, read through the transcripts and things like that. So it's really awesome how all that sort of works. So yeah, it gives you that ability to edit those sources, and it makes it really clear as to which ones it's done as well, which is really, really handy. So yeah, if you think anything's missing, you think you can add that in manually after, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, one of the other big features as well is kind of like the audio files that you can do. So that's you could ask it to do research on a question, and then you can just go on the audio overview and then listen to an AI generated podcast where they back and forth talk about the particular topic that you've been researching, which is kind of interesting to hear, like a two-way conversation about something that you're trying to learn something. It's like, that's could be really, really helpful for some people.
Yeah, I quite like that, because I think my brain does like that. Like if I'm watching a video, then having a conversation about it, obviously you get that deeper learning, don't you? So I feel like actually that would be really useful.
Yeah, and if you need deeper learning, then you could also add in the quizzes as well. So it's got a little quizzes button. So yeah, if you're learning it, it'll go off and then create those questions so you can go through them, as well as like what do you call it, the cards.
Flashcards.
Flashcards, that's it. Yeah, so you can create those as well. So if you're doing a talk and things like that, based on
Brilliant.
that research, yeah, really awesome. Yeah.
Will it give you a gold star if you get all of the questions correct? That's what I want to know.
I've never got them all right. I would never know. Let's say yes.
Okay. Okay. Brilliant. And I should say, as we're talking about these tools or software, we will put everything that we've mentioned in the show notes below for you so you can go and check them out yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2 done, 3 to go. So what is the third one now?
So the third one is Gamma. And the reason I've put this in is because like lots of businesses will need to be creating documents, whether that be like a proposal, quotations in a similar format every single time, and it can get quite monotonous and boring. Or you might have to do like presentations to clients and things like that. So what Gamma does is you can put in your prompts, so it can be as much or as little as you want, and it will then go off and then generate all of these slide contents or documents based on what you've asked for. And what's really cool with it is, yes, it will have a go at it, but there might be things you think, well, a big block of text on this slide's a bit boring. So you can select it and then go, can you make that more visual? And it'll go off and then add images or it'll add charts based on that particular section of the presentation. So yeah, it's really quite awesome how it all kind of works, and it can really speed up, business processes, which is really, really cool. Yeah. With Gamma, it's like it's just so good at saving your time and effort. It can also incorporate your brand guides as well. So let's say you already produce these presentations, you can manually input all of your fonts and colors and all that sort of stuff, which can be a bit monotonous at the start. You just want to get on and build it. But if you've already got a slide deck, they also have the feature where you could copy an existing presentation in, and then it will extract all of that information for you. So the next time you then go and use it as the template, it's got all of your colors, all of your fonts, and things like that. So it's a really good starting point. So yeah, really awesome tool to use.
Brilliant. Okay. And number 4.
Number 4, well, I'm not sure how this isn't number 1 on my list, but make.com. Would you believe it?
Then if make.com's number 4, that these tools are in no particular order.
No, well, no, they're not. No. I did think about ranking them, and I thought they're all kind of their own thing. So yeah. But yeah, make.com is an incredible platform. I'm sure if you've listened to any previous episodes of the podcast, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it quite a lot. But basically, this platform allows you to create automations in a visual way. So you can connect thousands of apps together, and your automations can be as simple or as complex as you wish. The only limitation is your imagination, I guess. And you can link into all the AI tools. So anything AI models from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Grok, whatever takes your fancy. And you can just do whatever you wish, which is
Can you give us some
incredible
examples? Because for anyone who is brand new to AI automations, they might even not know what they can. And we do have podcast episodes on what you can automate. So I would go and check those out. We'll put them in the show notes below for you. But just on this podcast, Noel, if you could just explain like some of the things that you would maybe want to use Make for.
Yeah. So I guess a good one would be like a booking agent. So let's say you've got a form that somebody fills in on your website, and then you basically then want it to go off and do an automation to book in a call with that person. So you would connect your applications together. So you could be using something like Typeform to get the information. And then, you would then build your automation to then go through, grab a Calendly link, and then go off and then use another email module to then send that email to that particular person. But you could go to the next level and kind of like go, well, based on the information they've provided, how can I personalize that message back to them to ensure that they do book a meeting? So you could go off and scrape their website and get that information, and maybe even look them up on LinkedIn or whatever, do a bit of low-level stalking just to get a bit more information about that individual. So you can really hyper-personalize what you send out the other end. So that could be one thing. You could do things where you've got like Google Sheets with loads of data. So you could be sending, that data through and then get AI to analyze it, and then update certain fields within your spreadsheet and things like that. So that's all possible. They also have really good AI agents as well. So you can give this agent access to different functionalities in, say, your CRM. So it could, create contacts, or it could look them up, things like that. And then you could have a conversation with it, and it would then, show you the data, and have that conversation. So I would say that AI agents are probably the best in the no-code building sector, which is really awesome. They're really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's just some ideas. I mean, there's 3,000 apps that you can connect.
Yeah. And we do talk about make.com a lot inside of our membership AI business club. So if anyone wants any further help with using Make, setting up your first automations, we've got a step-by-step process on actually how to do that.
Yep. And there's even some build guides as well. So if you've never built anything, there are some step-by-steps just to get you up and running. And, it's always good to have something working at the end of the day.
Yeah. And if you get stuck or anything, Noel's on hand as well to ask questions, get support, get help, point you in the right directions, or help you fix things.
Yeah. I may know a thing or two about Make.
Okay, Noel. So what is the last tool that you have put on your top 5?
So this last tool it may be a touch advanced, but anybody can use it. It's nothing to be scared of. It's Google AI Studio. And what we can do within there is to build applications, whether that be mobile or web. And, we can build it for any use case. So, it could be like an internal tool for you and your team. So it would help you speed up processes or whatever you need to do. Or maybe you just want to create like a really cool image generation platform using Nano Banana to your specific style. You could do that as well. And that just lives in your account and only you get to use it. That's fine. You don't have to publish it.
Yeah.
But you can create any kind of app, and you have like full access to the Google ecosystem. So it's not just their AI tools. So you got like your VO3 for video, Nano Banana, you then got all the Gemini models, but then you also get access to things like Google Maps. That's all, seamlessly integrated. So when you're chatting with the agent to build that application, and you say, well, I'd like a Google Maps for this bit, it already knows the code snippets already. It's already been trained on that information, so it could just bring it in straight away. So for a customer I was working with the other week, they were like, oh, it'd be really cool, in our quotation process, if this app, we put in the postcode and then it showed us the nearest 5 hotels and got prices, so we could put that within our costings. And I was like, yep, sure, we can do that. And then within 5 minutes, it was done. It's just like that would have took hours and hours and hours, of trying to find GitHub repositories or Stack Overflow or going through Reddit trying to find how to do that sort of thing as a non-coder. But you don't have to be a coder at all to be able to use Google AI Studio. It's just really awesome. It's free to use as well, which is great. And they always put in their latest tools as well. So if a new version of Nano Banana comes out, you can test it within that environment and then see what it's like. You might be thinking, well, that's it's all right, but I won't bother
Yeah.
changing a current application. You can do whatever you wish. Yeah.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Excellent choices. So
Yeah.
what I think now would be really helpful if we go through the costings of
Mm.
each software or tool that you have mentioned in your top 5.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first one. So Claude. So we know
Mhm.
that there is a free version.
There is a free version of Claude, yeah. And there's also 2 paid plans. So you've got Pro and Max, and they're priced at, I believe it's £19 per month and then £90 per month. Yeah, I'm not sure about the dollar rates. I did try and look that up, but as with why laptops localized to the UK, it was like, no, I'm just going to tell you pounds. But I believe it's like $100 for the big plan.
Yeah.
But really, all you're getting as you're going up is earlier access to new tools. So, like I say, they released Co-work last week, so that went to the Max users first. And I was kind of expecting that to be for at least a month, but it was like 4 days, and then it came down to the Pro plan. Well, yeah, I guess we're paying for that usage, so yeah, we might as well have it. It worked, which is good. So yeah, you also get extended usage. So I find that Claude, although it's great, it does restrict you a little bit in terms of your usage. ChatGPT is probably a bit more fluid and lets you have more conversations. But yeah, Claude is a little bit more restricted. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, second one, Notebook LLM.
So yeah, Notebook LM is again free to use. You can just log in with a normal Google account and off you go. There was obviously, of course, there's going to be usage limits with that. So
Yeah.
with this one and also the Google AI Studio is kind of interlinked. So they're part of like the Google Gemini ecosystem. So if you upgrade your Gemini account to the paid plan at, I think it's like £9 per month, then that gives you then extra access to Notebook LM, so you can have more queries per day, per week, or whatever. And it kind of works again with AI Studio, so you get extra usage limits. But yeah, they've got a crazy plan, which is, I think it's £235 per month, which is their like top tier all singing or dancing plan with loads of usage limits, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna pay
Probably
for that.
better like for larger businesses.
Definitely, yeah, more on the enterprise level. But yeah, to get started, it's free, and then paid plans pretty cheap to start off with.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then the other one is Make. Yeah, so with Make, they have a really generous free plan, so you get 1,000 credits to use per month. So if you have like a 3-step process and you run it, that's going to use 3 credits. That's kind of how it works. So yeah, if you just want to test it out, you've got plenty of headroom to build something really complicated or even really simple. It doesn't really matter. Do whatever you wish. So, it gives you plenty to play with. And then the first paid plan comes in at $9, and that then gives you 10,000 operations per month, which is usually plenty for anybody. So yeah, more than enough to get started with. But compare those 10,000 credits with something like Zapier, that would cost you around $89 a month. So yeah, really, really good value for money. An excellent app.
Yeah, and we've also done a podcast episode on like Make versus Zapier. So again, we'll put that in the show notes below so people can check that out as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good one, that one.
Okay, so there we have it. That was Noel's top 5 AI tools and software to use for your small business in 2026. And if you've got any questions or there's something that you would like us to address or answer on the podcast, we'll leave our email address below. If you just put in the subject heading podcast we will try our very best to answer it for you. But we've got lots of amazing episodes lined up for you this year. We're really excited about where we're taking the podcast in 2026. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. And if you liked it, we would love it if you could leave us a review. And we will catch you next time very soon.